So guys, I'm a little bit late to this video. I know I normally do it halfway through the year, but hey, listen, we're here and we're doing it now. So guys, I have made a list of the top 10 best sneakers that have released this year so far. And when it comes to the final top 10 sneakers of 2022, at the end of this year, we'll be able to kind of, cross-reference, see how much has actually stayed on that final list from this video. And considering how much heat is coming at the end of this year, I have a feeling that this list may look pretty different. So we have an insane top 10 list. We got 3 honorable mentions as well, so let's get into it. Number 10 on my list is the Kobe 6 Protro Mambasita. Listen, for a lot of people, I think this would be like number 1 or number 2, or at least in the top 5. But for me, listen, I'm not a basketball player, and again, basketball is more of a US thing anyway, but I had to add it to this list because 1, it's an amazing sneaker, and 2, honoring Kobe and Gigi's legacy, which I think we can all respect. As far as basketball sneakers go, this is probably one of the better looking ones, at least in my opinion. Definitely deserves a place on this list, and that is number 10. Number 9 on the list is a very, very recent one. I don't know whether you guys are going to be kind of surprised by this one or not, because it's been a bit of a mixed bag in terms of people's opinion on it. It is the Jordan 1 Taxi or Yellow Toe. Listen, as far as a Jordan 1, this has to be like one of the most surprising releases I've seen. I mean, we all know what's been happening to Jordan 1s this year in terms of hype, demand, whatever you want to call it, resale value, but it's been going down. And this one I would expect to resell for a lot of money, but it isn't. It's kind of just going for retail. Obviously, that doesn't make a difference in terms of how good the sneaker is or how good it looks, but in general, it kind of shows a little bit of accuracy towards the demand for it. Either way, the leather is nice. The colorway, in my opinion, is super nice, and I just really, really like it. It's one of my favorite Jordan 1s that has dropped this entire year. The number 8 spot goes to the Yeezy Foam Runner in the Onyx colorway. This is a very love it or hate it sneaker, so I know there's going to be a bunch of people who just cannot understand the Foam Runner, but listen, it's a comfortable sneaker. I personally love it, and I love the Onyx colorway. You cannot get much cleaner than an all-over black pair, and I think the black just matches so perfectly with the crazy design of the Yeezy Foam Runner. I think this Onyx colorway is super memorable because of the whole build-up for Kanye West's Donda album, where he was just blacked out in everything. So it was very fitting for the Foam Runner to come in a black colorway as well. Number 7 is really a personal favorite for me. It is one that I have been wearing ever since it released earlier this year, and that is the Sakai Vapor Waffle in the Sail colorway. This sneaker was supposed to drop like back in 2021, but it never did. It ended up dropping earlier this year, and ever since then, I have been rocking these things non-stop. Honestly, it's hard to find things that I don't like about the Vapor Waffle. I know it's a bit of a crazier design, but it is incredibly comfortable. I think it looks super cool. Maybe the only con you could say is that it's super chunky, but if you like chunky sneakers, then that's a win as well. The number 6 spot goes to another Jordan 1, and that is the Georgetown High 85. I freaking love this colorway. It is so incredibly clean, and the 85 cut mixed with this colorway, I think just looks perfect. I think for a lot of people this year, they've been super selective with what Jordan 1s they want to get. It's definitely not like years past where it's literally every single Jordan 1 is selling out. A super clean look, and I think it just goes with a lot. It's super versatile, and definitely one of the best to drop this year. The number 5 spot goes to one of my favorite pairs of dunks that is released this year, and it's a collaboration. It's the Union Nike Dunk Low. Honestly, you could pretty much put any of the 3 colorways in at this spot. I think they're all super compelling and super clean. My personal favorite is the Court Purples, because that's the one I have. No, but for real, the Court Purples look insane. They look great on foot, and it is definitely a clean colorway. Now, as far as dunks go this year, it's kind of the opposite story to Jordan 1. Their hype and demand is as high as ever. It's really just, I guess, kind of being more selective in terms of what colorway you want, because you are spoiled with choice. Number 4 spot goes to a classic, and I guess technically it hasn't quite released yet. It's releasing very soon, but it has released in some regions, so I definitely am putting it on this list. And that is the Jordan 3 Fire Red. When I did a review on these things, I was completely sold. On foot, in hand, they are incredible. The materials are nice, and it is the closest Fire Red to the originals as possible. Now, however you feel about 3s, this is definitely a classic. The Fire Red being one of the original 4 Jordan 3s. Thankfully, Nike and Jordan Brand did this one right, and I think they killed it. So definitely number 4 on my list as one of the best sneakers that has dropped this entire year. Let's get into the top 3, but first, I gotta give you guys some honorable mentions. All right, first first up, honorable mention number 3 is the New Balance 9060. Listen, this was like this close away from being in my top 10. I freaking love this sneaker so much, but again, there's been so much heat, which just gets me worried for the end of the year list. It's gonna be so hard to make. The second honorable mention that I wanted to give you guys is the Travis Scott Air Max 1. As far as Travis Scott sneakers, this may be one that you might have been able to get your hands on. I think the Baroque brown colorway, being my personal choice, is definitely a solid one and one of the best sneakers to drop this year. Last honorable mention might just shock a couple of you because I think a lot of people would put this on their top 10. It's the Louis Vuitton Air Force 1. So I'm specifically referencing the kind of ones that had the retail release, not the freaking auction ones that ended up going for like 300k. First of all, they were limited to like 2,000 to 3,000 pairs. There was a bunch of different colorways, but each colorway was super limited and they all retailed between 2.5 and 3 grand, I believe. No, these are not making the top 10. They are too expensive. Top 3, let's go. And listen, maybe some of you guys might think I'm cheating a little bit with this number 3 spot because technically it released a long time ago, but I don't care. I'm putting it as my number 3 on my list. It's the Yeezy 350 V1 Turtledove. It's one of the craziest and one of the best sneakers to drop this entire year, even though technically it's a restock or a retro. But then again, I guess you could say that about a lot of different Jordans. And to have a return here in 2022, all the way back from 2015, is definitely special and just cool in general. All right, let's get into the number 2 spot. It has to go to the Jordan 4 Military Black. There's not much to say about this one. It is hard to deny how clean this sneaker is, how versatile it is, and just how good the black and white looks on a pair of 4s. It's definitely one of the most popular sneakers to drop this year. As we know, Jordan 4 hype is up there. You know, Jordan 4s sell out more than 1s at this point. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a super clean pair of 4s that is extremely wearable, the military 4s have to be on that list. Putting this sneaker at number 1 kind of feels like a cop-out for me because I know it's going to be on everybody else's list, but listen, it's just hard to deny how clean this sneaker is. It's the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Reverse Mocha. Another sneaker that I'm going to be chasing this year because of course I took an L. I mean, hey, if you like Jordan 1s, if you like Jordan 1 lows, this is one of the best colorways. It's covered in sail and beautiful brown. I mean, Travis Scott has been hustling this year. I think he's releasing more sneakers this year. We'll definitely have to see if the reverse mochas stay on this list to the end of the year. Either way, guys, that concludes my list. That is my top 10 sneakers for 2022 so far. Again, we will be revisiting this list at the end of the year when we sum up all of the releases that have happened this year and we get to take a look back and create a final top 10 list. But I do want to know, what are your favorite sneakers that have released this year so far? And of course, thank you so much for coming through, hanging out for yet again another video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I will catch you guys in the next one, but until then.